Morning, good morning, good morning. It is 6:59 on the island of Lanai in the morning. And what we're going to talk about this morning is December and how to make December an extraordinary month. So most of you probably saw the graphic about Sarah and Betty. And uh, isn't it amazing that probably a good 95 to 99% of the people in network marketing are like Sarah. And I don't mean our Sarah at Bliss Business. I mean just Sarah, like sad Sarah, like sorry Sarah, like in a funk Sarah, where they just give up on the month of December. And I have a couple of thoughts about that, which I want to talk about today. And then I want to give you some strategies, some tools, some things to do in the next 10 days. And I realize there's only 10 days left in December. Some of you might thought, well, why didn't he tell us this like November 28th? I don't know. I'm sure I was thinking about something else November 28th. But really, it's this next 10 days that matter, because it's this next 10 days are this rich environment. This environment to take advantage of the mood, I call it. It's the mood of the holidays. And the mood of the holidays is just this extraordinary opportunity for you to network. And I'm not talking about you enrolling people or rank advancing or generating record-setting volume in December. Of course, you could do that in December, but in order to make December your record-setting month of the year, you would have had to have a plan in place beginning like January of 2018, right? First quarter 18, second quarter 18, third quarter 18, culminating in the fourth quarter of 18. You don't make December your record-setting month starting December 21st. But here's how you do make December your best month of the year. So here's some facts. They're not in Wikipedia. They're column 42-year veteran facts. They're educated guesses, if you will, based on experience. That if I had at an event like GoPro or Mastermind or something, if I had, or your national convention, if I had everybody in the room stand up that makes more than, let's say, $5,000 a month in their company, and I were to ask them, how did you know your sponsor? What was the relationship you had with their sponsor? Most is an understatement. Probably 70 or 80% of the people standing in the room would say my sponsor was a friend or relative. That's kind of crazy, right? With all the time we spend like trying to get leads and talking to strangers and doing all this social media stuff, So I don't know. I don't know anything about social media, apparently, because I've been on Facebook for 10 years. I got like 60,000 fans on Facebook. I got like 7,000 people on LinkedIn. I got 15,000 people on Twitter. And I got a whole bunch of people on Instagram I don't know anything about. I don't ever get any of those people saying, hey, show me your deal. So I don't know if that works or not. Apparently it works for some people, but here's the facts of the industry. With it, there are exceptions. There are social media mavens and wonderkinds and people that just have figured that thing out. But I don't think that's most of us. Most of us have not figured that out. Most of us don't want to stay glued to our phone or our computer 14 hours a day to master social media and comment on every comment and, drill down and do all that stuff. Most of us want to build a network marketing empire and have the semblance of a life. And I'm not opposed to social media. I love social media. I'm just saying that's not my gig. And it probably isn't most of your gigs. For those of you that have nailed it and love it, more power to you. Go for it. I wish you were on my team, right? Alex and Ashley, those kind of people. But it's not most of us. How do most of us do this? Well, if you're not going to do it like on social media, and you're not going to do it advertising, which that doesn't work, you probably have to end up networking. Go figure, network marketing. And then who are you going to network with? You basically got two choices when it comes to networking. You can network with people you've never met before. That takes some time, right? It takes time to build those connections and build that relationship and get to a place where you can have a civil conversation about possibilities. If I had all these people stand up in the room and I said, who introduced you? 90%, 80% of them would say a friend or a relative. So how does that bring us back to December? Because in the month of December, there's a lot of crazy things happening that are all good for network marketing. I just read an article this morning online about, travel. Travel this year, 2018, December 2018, is at record levels of travel. People going to visit their relatives, visit friends. Like they're getting out and about in the month of December. People are mixing it up, not just in your town, not just your company Christmas party, but worldwide, nationwide. People are moving around, right? They're scurrying, they're connecting, they're going to see people. So that's one thing about the month of December. And, all of this, if you go back to Sarah and Betty, this is all about a story, right? So you can have a story that December is the worst month of the year. You might as well give it up. Nobody's going to do anything. Everybody's too busy. I mean, and that's all kind of obvious amateur stuff, right? Or you can make up a story and figure out, look for the evidence. Look for the evidence to support your story that December is the most extraordinary month of the year. And here's what I mean by the most extraordinary month of the year. The seeds that you could plant in the next 10 days. Planting seeds. That could be where you reap the big harvest in 2019. You're going to see people in the next 10 days. You're going to be with people in the next 10 days. Some of them some of them are family. Some of them are just part of that craziness of people traveling, out scurrying about, right? Whether they're shopping or they're on a plane, train, or automobile or wherever they are, people are just uprooted and out and about in the next 10 days. You're going to have an opportunity to connect with more people in the next 10 days, perhaps than in any month in the rest of the year or any 3 months in the rest of the year. And then here's something you have an unprecedented opportunity for, which is this is the evidence that I look for to make December the best month of the year. Not record setting for December, but planting the seeds for 2019. And that's mood. There's some mood things going on in December that don't go on any other time of the year. No other month of the year, no other 10-day period has this mood. And the mood is heartfelt. It's not leading with the mind. It's not leading with the mind grind. How do I get ahead? How do I pay the bills? How do I handle work? How do I handle my to-do list? What about the kids running here, running there? And, that kind of stuff. What we do in the month of December is we lead with the heart. And that heart is that's when we see people, just notice when you see people in the month of December, notice how they just tend to lead more with the heart. They're more open to a heartfelt connection and conversation. It's a mood that people are in. It's just a slight shift, not leading with the head this next 10 days, leading with the heart. And this is where you can have really powerful conversations. It's not easy to get through people's head, right? It's not easy to get through all their bias and all their opinions and all their self-talk and all their chatter and all their negativity and all their worry. But you can get to people's heart if they're leading with the heart. And the second thing that is a mood in the next 10 days is people are feeling, they're thinking, but they're also feeling in retrospect about their life, about where are they in life. Probably the only other time people do this is right around their birthday. But I think they do it way more in December. They think about a year in review. They think about their job. They think about their health. They think about their family. They think about relationships. They think about their wealth when they go to buy Christmas gifts and then pay for them. People are thinking about, like, how am I doing? They size themselves up. And then where does this whole New Year's resolution thing come from? Do you think that happens on New Year's Day? Everybody's hungover. They're not making New Year's resolutions on New Year's Day. They're making them right now. People are thinking right now about, what am I going to do next year? What am I going to do for the next 4 years? 4 years. Where am I going to be in the future? How are things going to get better? And so the point of the next 10 days is, this is a rich, rich, rich opportunity for you to be out and about with the attitude of connecting with people and leading with your heart and asking people the questions that they're likely to be in a way better mood to answer in the next 10 days than any other time of the year. Questions like, hey, how was 2018 for you? I don't have these questions in a book. These are just intuitive questions. So, I'm not a fan of asking people scripted questions. So if you were just heart to heart with somebody and you were embedded in the story of, hey, I'm thinking about my life in review. I'm thinking about 2019. Perhaps the person I'm standing next to is thinking about the same thing. Let's say you're at a Christmas party, or you're at a family gathering, or, you're seeing your brother-in-law who you don't see. You just say, hey, how was 2018 for you? What was awesome about it? What frustrated you about it? What sucked about it? Whatever kind of language they can hear. And then what do you do when you ask a question? You listen. You be so totally present, right? So totally present. No chatter, no interrupting them, no making it about you. You just ask a curiosity question. So if you kind of like follow the 7 steps of the authentic networker, which first thing is connect with people, and that's just start a conversation, whether it's on a train or it's at a Christmas party, and then just be curious. And if you're curious, there's only one form of conversation, and that's a question. Now you can be a cheeseball salesperson and ask people, scripted setup questions like, questions that set them up for you to recruit them. Like, do you keep your income options open? Horrible, horrible question. Don't ever ask people that. But if you just ask people curiosity questions about their life, hey, what went on with the kids this year? Any great accomplishments for the kids this year? So maybe you ask about the kids, maybe you ask about the job, maybe you ask about their home, maybe you ask about vacations. Just ask about whatever you intuitively feel about asking about, and then listen, like dial into them, like give yourself 100% to them, turn yourself over to them. Don't make it about you. Don't argue with them in your head. Don't think about your next question. Don't think about anything. Just stand in their present, bask in the light of this person, in their heartache and their ambition and their triumph and their joy. Just bask in all of it. And then ask the next question, whatever it is. And then ask the next question, whatever it is. And then just being curious and just be patient. And, they may give you opportunities to say, oh, hey, have you ever tried this? But be patient. Because if people give you a little bit, if they say something that indicates, boy, they could be looking for an opportunity, that means there's more there. It's just the tip of the iceberg, right? So you don't have to jump on the tip. You might get speared. Be patient. When you're fishing, you don't like fish on when you get a nibble. You let the fish nibble more and maybe even bite. And so just listen and be patient. If somebody asks you a question, tell them the truth. Tell them the all of it, the raw, the truth. If you could tell them about your year. Maybe your network marketing year wasn't so good. So somebody says, well, how was your year? You could say, well, I got this side business. I've been in it for 7 years and I haven't done anything with it. And so this year was either, get out of it or do something with it. So I decided to actually do something with it. Look at that as a way to tell people, I've been in this thing 7 years and haven't made any money. If you tell them that way, like tell them the truth, you feel transparent, you feel present, you're not hiding anything. And they feel like they can trust you because you just told them the truth. Or, if you have a kid that went off the rails, last year, problems, share that with them. That connects people when we share our vulnerabilities. And I don't mean like, be a dark cloud on people and tell them all your horrible stories. But, just look for opportunities to be authentic with people and share things with people that can allow them and you to connect. And perhaps in that conversation, there'll be an opportunity for you to invite them. And if there is, invite them. Just invite them to take a look. What a great time to give somebody a book they can read in an hour when they might be flying home on a plane, or people aren't working for this week, and so they probably got an hour they can read a book. And what a great time to talk about, ask a question like, what's going to be different for you in 2019? What are your New Year's resolutions? What are you going to do radically different in 2019 and 2018? These are questions you can ask people in conversation. And what people will let you know is whether or not they're a good candidate for what we're doing. Obviously, people that are not ambitious, that are negative, that all they do is give excuses. They have like victim mentality. Oh, woe is me. I'm a victim of the economy or the government or politics, or as long as he's in office, nothing will happen. Or as long as she's in office, nothing, those kind of people, they don't do well in what we're doing. You're looking for people that, have a spark of ambition and independence and personal responsibility and horsepower. And, they want to do something different in 2019. And you can find those people in abundance in the next 10 days just by connecting and going through the 7 steps and creating the story that the next 10 days, the people that you connect with, that you listen to, that you're present to, that perhaps you invite, or perhaps the invitation doesn't come till January or February, these very well may be the leaders of the future for you, because you have a rich environment in the next 10 days to catch people's heart and catch people in retrospect about their life and catch people actually doing some natural vision work about what they see for the next year. That's where the New Year's resolutions come from, this 10-day period. So I wish you an extraordinary, peaceful, family-oriented, maybe don't be trying to set any records in December about rank advancement or how many people you recruit. Maybe the records to set are how many people you connect with your heart, how many people you have really fantastic conversations with, how many people you show up as the most interesting person they've ever met. Set a record for how many times you do that in the next 10 days, and I'll bet you have a phenomenal 2019. You can find the details somewhere here on my fan page. Thank you all. Sun's coming up. It's getting bright. Thanks for joining me. Hey, gang, thanks for joining me. Have a wonderful weekend. Over and out.